Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. It is 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together 7 days a week, chat about what's doing in the world of weather, hopefully getting your day started off on the right note. Rise and shine. Thanks for hanging out. Before we get into anything else, important stuff like drinking our coffee. So let us take a minute. All right. I can handle that. All right, top two things that we are watching today on Coffee Talk. First, big surprise here. It's beautiful this morning, so you know I've got to talk about that forecast. I've got to take you around Central Florida. We've got to look and see exactly what to expect in your neighborhood, and you know we'll be doing just that. Plus, we've got some stronger storms in the forecast. May not necessarily be right this second, but in the outlook, might have some severe weather, like a little bit of an added juice in the atmosphere. So we'll be talking about that. But it's Sunday, so we need to, of course, make sure to mention that and take a live look outside. Here's a shot. Disney Springs not looking too bad. Happy to say our first warning live Doppler radar, much quieter than it was this time yesterday. We do have a little bit of rainfall up in our northwestern areas. We'll zoom into it on the live radar and kind of lapse it. And you can see those showers, they're trying to move their way in a little bit, but they're not at all a big concern for us this morning. Temperature-wise, 81 now in Orlando. It's 82 degrees back over to Wedgefield, 79 in Melbourne, 78 degrees in Palm Bay. So here's a look at our 12-hour forecast, my friends. It's going to be a hot day. 89 by 11 o'clock, 92 by 1 o'clock, 95 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then we get those thunderstorms kind of helping to cool us down little bit by little bit by little bit. Listen. It's going to be a hot one. Hotter than what we saw yesterday. Absolutely. Here's a look around Central Florida. 95 in the city. 94 in Kissimmee. It's 94 degrees in Leesburg. Even our northern spots, hot. Now, this is where I really want to dive in here and chat a little bit, because this is where Mother Nature is, this is where it gets interesting. So you see that high temperature there. You see that high temperature there in Ocala. Of the mix, I would say that's one. It's not the lowest, right? Like Wildwood, you're at 92. But that 93 in in Ocala, do not let that fool you, because you are one of the few areas that's actually under a heat advisory. Take a look. Heat advisory posted for Central Florida's northernmost communities. This is what's funny about it, because your humidity levels are going to be a little higher than the rest of us. This will go into effect at 11 o'clock this morning. That rises through 7 p.m. Here's the comparison, okay? Let's start off with Ocala's feels like temperatures. 105 at noon, 111 at 2 p.m., right? Orlando's feels like temperatures, 102 at noon, 104 at 2 p.m. So yeah, Ocala, your feels like temperatures are going to be hot enough that we do think you'll get to dangerous levels, which is why that heat advisory is posted. Now, what exactly is a heat advisory? All right, the textbook definition means that the heat index, or feels like temperature, gets to be 108 to 112 for 2 hours or more. So, for example, Ocala, Flagler County, Marion County, you're going to fit that criteria. The rest of Central Florida will be close. It's just not going to be as hot. It's just going to fall just shy of that criteria. Okay, so kind of one of those interesting things. If you're heading out to the theme parks today, water parks looking great. Theme parks, it's just going to be a scorcher today, 95 degrees, our 3 o'clock temperature. Heading out to the backyard swimming pool. Again, a good day, not a great day, a good day. I only say that because we'll have to keep our head on a swivel and look for those showers and those thunder showers. Over at the beaches, even on the beach sand, we hit 90 degrees this afternoon as the rains start popcorning up. Tide times today, not too bad. Low tide, just happening depending on how north or south on the beach you are. High tide, 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we're going to be running out of space. Right? Yeah, we're going to be running out of space on the beaches around mid-afternoon. Otherwise, we're looking pretty okay. So with that said, I will pause. I will pop up today's forecast again, and I will say good morning. I've been just running my mouth. It's a Sunday. It's the day of rest. I should be just sitting back, relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of my school. Anyway, let's see here. Comments. Joanne, Karen, good morning to you. How are you? Pat, good morning. Good morning. Let's see what's doing here. Annie, good morning to you. Nancy, Frank says, I'm doing an open house in South Tampa today. How are the temperatures looking? I don't even really know. It sure has been a beautiful morning, Lauren says. It has. It has indeed. Yeah. Nancy, good morning to you. Good morning. But Eric, you're Jewish. The day of rest was supposed to be yesterday. Trolling again, Yukon. I'm teasing you. Listen, at the end of the day, there's no rest with kids. One of these days, I'll have to tell you about the poop story from yesterday. What a day. And that was after all the other fun of the day. So anyway, hot temps. It's a hot day. Good morning to you, Mary. How are ya? Anybody going to the beach today? Going to the pool? It's going to be a great one. Yeah. Now, in terms of that rainfall, you can see we're building to a 60% coverage of storms. The models have not been that great on like positioning. Here's the latest Futurecast showing some first off, the Futurecast rapid update may be a little bit better. Here's Futurecast showing showers at 8 o'clock. It's much quieter. It's starting, but I think that the overall idea is by 1:30, 2 o'clock, widely scattered showers and storms. You notice the Futurecast is kind of missing the metro. I don't think we're going to miss the metro. I think we're going to have storms in the metro, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's look at the rapid update. I haven't checked, at least in this cycle. I checked a little bit ago, of course. All right, that's better. 10, 11 o'clock, getting going with rains. And then there. So we've got the stormy weather around 2, 3 o'clock. That makes sense. Yeah. And then working off to the east after. Okay, so I think that's got a pretty decent handle. Now, today, shower and thunderstorm activity, yes, definitely in the forecast. Tomorrow, though, we add just a little bit of instability to the atmosphere. And so because of that, we're under a level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms tomorrow. In terms of impacts, we're looking more along the lines of some stronger wind gusts and the potential of some isolated hailstorms. Okay, so for tomorrow, there's that little added bit in the atmosphere. And frankly, that's going to be the case again on Tuesday. More than likely the same impacts, but we'll watch and see how that plays out. But for now, it looks like the intensity of the storms tomorrow may be just a little bit higher than what we have today. All right. We good with that? Sound good? We're going to try and take the kids out to play at the park and splash pad before the rain comes. Amanda, sounds good to me. Had a lovely downpour yesterday in Melbourne. My plants are so much happier, Jan says. Yeah, that's the way that goes, right? Karen says, I will be going to the beach. Sounds good to me. I like it. I love your shirt and tie. Oh, geez, William. If you give me $2,000 for it, I'll sell it to you. I'll also sell ice to an Eskimo. Let's see here. Repeat that, please, Annie. What part? See, the problem is repeat what? I've been talking. I have no idea what you even want me to repeat. All right, Yukon, serious questions. Y'all are tracking the real temperature and showing it as hottest ever. You're tracking the heat index to see if there are changes in humidity levels. So the problem, that's a good question, actually. So the problem is, and Yukon's referring to, the news department did a story on the hottest temperature like ever. And that's kind of more of a climatologist element. Using other data, but I try to study and focus on Orlando, but this is actuality. So to answer your question, Yukon, let me just catch everybody else up. So the average high temperature for Orlando for the year has averaged out to 85.6 degrees, which means it is the hottest average year to date on record. The second place is 85.3. So we're almost a half a degree warmer than we have ever been in average temperatures. And that second place was back in 1921. So, yes, we are, for Orlando, we are the hottest we have ever been. And now I'm kind of curious. Give me 2 seconds here. I just want to see what that is for the rest of Central Florida, too. Like, I haven't, let's see here. One day, let's look. Year to date ranking. I'm just curious if it's just Orlando or what. All right, so hottest ever recorded in Orlando. Hottest year on record in Daytona. Second hottest year on record year to date in Melbourne. Second hottest year to date on record in Sanford. So, I mean, that's wild. That's wild stuff. So the problem, though, is that when we look at weather data, weather records, we don't store dew point temperatures. Or at least if that's backed up, I don't know about it. So I don't have a way to track that. Julie's asking, was 1921 an El Nino year? So the El Nino data that I have doesn't go back but to the 1950s. Yeah, 1950 is the first year of El Nino, La Nina that I can track. I don't know. Okay, but so July. So if we look at 1921, so July, believe it or not, if I'm reading this right, 1921 was actually a La Nina year, if I'm reading that correctly, which actually is quite surprising. Hot temps in a La Nina year, kind of interesting. So, Julie, if I read that correctly on the NOAA Physical Sciences Laboratory, which it seems to be now, yeah, 1921 was a La Nina because 23-24 was an El Nino year. Interesting. That's surprising to me. Yeah. Rose says the 1920s must have been crazy weather. Seems like that's always a record year. I agree with you. I feel like that has to be the case, right? I agree 100%. Yeah. Seems like we had thunder showers all day yesterday. Started with our BMX race getting canceled due to rain and lightning. We had several storms through the day in Palm Coast, kept the temperatures way down. Yeah, agreed. We had clouds in my neighborhood, but we never ended up getting the thunderstorms in my neighborhood. Jason says the highest dew point ever recorded in the United States was 90 degrees. That was here in Melbourne and New Orleans. You know better than I do. I wouldn't have even known where to find that. I would have had to Google it. You kind of wonder if the Weather Service has a database of dew points. The other problem, though, is like the heat index is a fairly new mathematical equation. It started like in the 70s. So you're not going to have data going back to the 1920s, at least with heat index values. Now, dew points, but then the problem comes, what time did the dew point hit that? Because you could recalculate things, but like what time did the dew point hit? So do we have hourly data going back to the 1920s? I don't know that we do. If we do, I've not seen, so I don't quite know the answer to that. Yeah. Debbie, ooh, we had thunder. I don't see any lightning out this morning unless you're talking about yesterday. I love the rain all day yesterday. Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. That was fun. Now back to the heat. And not only the heat, but let me just tell you, the heat, while the heat may be coming down a little bit these next couple of days as we're building up more and more storm chances, look what happens late this upcoming week. The heat builds back in and in a big way. 96 on Friday, 97 degrees on Saturday. That would make it, again, near record temperatures. And speaking of record temperatures, today we're actually going to be flirting with records. Not necessarily across our inland spots, but like coastal friends, talking to you, 97 is the record Daytona Beach, 95 is the forecast. Melbourne, 95 the forecast, 97 degrees the record. So we'll be in the ballpark even today. Good times. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. With the sustained heat we've been having, is there a greater chance of ocean waters also warming more? In addition, would this also increase the intensity of a hurricane? Yvonne's asking. So great questions. To answer the first part, yes, it would help to increase the water temperatures. And I would add, right on the money, we are experiencing record high water temperatures. What you're looking at is the sea surface temperature anomaly map. The blue is actually temperatures at average. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, that's all above average water temperatures. So the Atlantic Basin, the tropical Atlantic as it is actually in record territory. Believe it or not. Now, there are two areas that I'm watching, one area that the Hurricane Center is watching in the tropical Atlantic. So here's a look, and for right now, there's nothing out there. But the Hurricane Center is watching this area here because models are saying that there very well may be something that tries to get going between Bermuda and the Azores. It's not any kind of a big threat. If it does develop, there's a 20% chance of a low-end threat there of development, but not a threat of impact. And that's enough for me. Totally enough for me. That said, another area did catch my eye a little further south. Here's a look at the satellite on it. It's in the main development region. There is a lot of Saharan dust. So the expectation of this actually forming into something is really not there. But it's something interesting, if nothing else, to watch. Yeah. Chris, I did not get a chance to look at your calendar. I mean, I eyeballed it, but I didn't like sciencey it up. I'm curious what last August had to do with this though. That was my curiosity I wanted to ask you about. Because if you're using that for the cycling doesn't happen until October, November. Yvette says, got caught in the storm yesterday, could not see in front of me going 25. Finally pulled into a gas station and sat a bit. Good, yeah. It's true. Yep. Yukon says, well, if we keep heating the planet, melting the ice, raising the overall temperatures, eventually the increased cloud cover will then cool the planet. Cycles. And that's something Dr. Neil Frank had mentioned to me when he and I were chatting about just hurricanes and things, and about how everything is cyclical. And how, yeah, there's climate change. The Earth has always been changing. Climate has always been changing. And so there's a lot of elements to it. Is there a man-made element? Isn't there a man-made element? Is there this? Is there that? There's a lot. I will tell you that when it comes down to it, we know the Earth is warming. You can't argue that. What's the cause? What's the effect? What kind of impacts do us humans have? There's a lot of studying going on. What does the end result show us? There's a lot of theories and all of this. But no matter what, and I'm always so careful to talk about this because I don't know how in the heck weather became a political thing, but here we are. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, I literally don't care. And you don't care where I am. None of us care. What I will only give you is the reality, which is that we should just be good stewards to this earth. That's all. So left, right, up, down, I don't care. Do you believe in global warming being terrible or not? Listen, We need to be good to Mother Earth. We got one Earth. We got to take care of it. But yes, the Earth is heating. Yes, the Earth has always been changing. Climate has always been changing. This much we know. But it's, what are our impacts on it? There's a lot of theories, and so there's a lot of studying that needs to happen. And so I would just encourage all of us to be good. That's all. Just be good stewards to this planet. Okay? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Oh, okay, that was for your daughter. Okay, got it, Chris. Thank you. I'm like, I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure. Very good. I've heard that the Earth is tilting on its axis more. How true? I don't know anything about the tilting. Yeah. You can talk controversially about weather. That's about it. Yeah. No politics. No, I am not in the business of making half of y'all be mad at me and half of you not. Well, the reality is can't we all just get along? That's all. That's the way I do it. Oh my goodness. We are sending you, Shauna, all the love we can. Sending all of it. Do not apologize for being MIA. Real life is more important. And sending you all the love and support for your oldest, for sure. I'm terrified as my kids get older. That's the truth. As my kids get older, I grow more and more afraid of what that chapter is. Andy says, too hot out though. That is correct. 100% correct. Bruce, all we need is love, right? Love is all you need. And ways to stay cool with forecasts that look like this, for goodness sake. Yowza, 95, 94. Storm chances go up Monday, Tuesday. And like I had said, not only do the storm chances go up, but the intensity of those storms, right? Monday and Tuesday, level 1 out of 5 risk for isolated strong severe storms. There's just like a little extra energy in the atmosphere. So as long as you know that, plan accordingly. Of course, we'll be posting all the radars and all the other stuff. We'll be keeping you up to date. All right? All right. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we build in the big heat. The big heat. Yeah. Yvette says, I do agree. We do need to be good for us and the future of our children and so on. It's true. It's true. Becca sending all the good vibes at you. Hot and moist, not in a good way. Exactly. It's not good. It's gross. It's an interesting summer with a week of rain and a week of dry, hot weather. I mean, I don't think we're like trending completely dry, but it's gross hot. It's gross hot out. Yep. All right. It's Seamless Sunday. How much time do we have?
We have about 2:55.
All right, so just about 3 minutes left. Questions, comments, concerns? We've got just a couple of minutes left before I have to go do the Today Show stuff, channeling the Beatles. Hey, whatever gets positivity. Positivity. That's what it's about. Positivity. There's nothing dry about stepping outside. No, that humidity is disgusting. Remember when we were talking about heat advisories? Ocala, Flagler, you're talking today about feels like temperatures of 111. I mean, what? It is not fit for man nor beast. Yikes. I didn't derail us today. Dang, I'm slipping. Yukon, you'll get it back. Don't you worry. Everybody has an off day. I knew it was you, Yukon. If it was I will tell you, if it wasn't you, Yukon, I would have gotten feisty yesterday. I just went like Diet 7-Up feisty on you yesterday. Because I know you. That's all. All right. I'm going to go do the TV thing. I'll be posting through the day, talking about storms, talking about heat. Yvonne, it's my pleasure. Hang out all the time. As long as I can read it, I will do my best to answer it. So be good. Who's sitting at the news desk? It's Christina Watkins. If I had the time, I'd go say hello. She says good morning. You can see her in all of her beauty. That's a good girl right there. I'm so honored to work with her. We were just talking. Oh, you stop the lies. I just love the fact that she and I grew up like a mile away from each other. Like I drove by your house, not your house, your old neighborhood like 4 times yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. And like at one point as I was driving by, I looked and I was just like, how did Watkins and I never run into each other as kids? But even if we did, it's not like I'd see you at Publix and be like, Hey, me with the braces, like, hey, Gary, you and I are going to work together one day. I believe we probably did. I was the kid that was just like reading the Mac book, the Mac World magazine in the Publix magazine section, and
We're long lost besties.
it's a small world after all. All right, go. Have a great Sunday. Be good. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will see y'all later.